What's cooking, ghoul looking? Welcome back to the Ghost Gals. My name's Renee, and that is
Dusti.
And we have some exciting and creepy things to talk about tonight. But before we do that, make sure you go on YouTube. That link is going to pop up on the screen now. You can go to Facebook, like us on Facebook, share us to all your friends so that they can watch us and stalk us and love us. And then you can go to our website and read our weekly blog, because we do a blog weekly, which is what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ever in St. Augustine, Florida, you can come take a tour with us on a ghostly encounter. We have a lot of fun doing the tours. That's where we get our information and experiences for the My Ghostly Encounters blog that's on the website. So yeah, do all that, and I mean it, do it, okay? So we're gonna move on now. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive.
I don't know.
We're gonna move on to the haunted happenings. Get ready for the song. You know the jingle's coming on. It's not a good jingle, but it's coming on. Get ready for the haunted happenings. Ding. Yeah. We messed that up in the last episode. I accidentally said welcome to the haunted happenings, but it is get ready for the haunted happenings. Sorry.
Is it?
I switched it up. Yeah, it is. Oh well, too bad. So sad. Anyway, first haunted happening of the night comes from Daniel V. And Daniel says, I described him as a shadow man, and I didn't really know what he was, but I had a feeling that I was being watched and followed in my home for weeks. And I think I would turn and I would see a shadow off the reflection of light on the glass frames in the hallway, but it ended up being nothing as I fully turned around, like double take, I guess. This kept happening only when I was alone. One day I was on the computer and I had that feeling again. Only this time when I looked, he was peeking around the corner right at me. I saw the hat. Oh, hello. I saw the hat, the silhouette of his body, and we stared at each other for 3 seconds. Then he lifted his hat super fast and he ran to the other side of the hallway. So I got up slowly, I walked, I looked everywhere, and opened up the rooms, turned on lights, of course, looked in the closets, and I could not find anything. I ended up calling my parents because I was scared. I have had some run-ins with the hag as well. That's strange, okay. I don't really remember him mentioning a hag, but he said I've also had run-ins with the hag as well. And I fought them off in my dreams. They don't bother me anymore, but I still feel that something is watching me at all times, and I just like to not think about it. Okay.
I always feel like
somebody's watching me. Alright. Crusade says, I experienced someone being possessed. Oh, I remember reading this. I experienced someone being possessed in my home. It was this guy I had let stay at my house for a couple of months. And it was just about the 3rd month that he was there. And whatever was in him definitely revealed itself to us. And all I could do was pray. His eyes turned black, his body was freezing cold, and his head turned really slow to look at me when I was praying over him. Whatever was in him left out of him, and I felt it go down the stairs out of the apartments that I lived at. So about a week later, the same guy that lived downstairs died out of nowhere. Oh, wait, no. Okay, well, a guy that lived downstairs from the apartment, I guess, died out of nowhere. Needless to say, I made the guy move out, and I moved shortly after myself. Honestly, I'm not sure what happened to him, but at the time, his girlfriend, or my girlfriend, was with me, and him, me, and her were watching scary movies, and then he told me he was tired. So then he went to lay down, and a couple of minutes later, he texted me saying that he just wasn't feeling right, and that he was really cold, and that he just wanted someone to pray with him. So I went in there to see what was up and pray for him, of course. So, I really don't know how he got possessed. See, I had asked him how this happened, because I just was interested. But I had never experienced anything in my life, and I was definitely up praying for that. I still pray now for him. Yeah, I'm not sure how it was conjured up. After watching those scary movies, that's when he experienced it. I just don't understand. It didn't happen any time before that or any time after it left the apartment. So he thinks that spirit left his apartment and killed his neighbor downstairs, which is a pretty heavy accusation for a demon. And I'm not doubting it at all. I mean, if it's a true demon and it's evil like that, I'm sure that's possible. I just feel bad for the guy, because can you imagine, like, this is why you shouldn't exercise. Okay, let me lay this out for you.
This is why you shouldn't exercise.
Well, you shouldn't exercise. Just live your best life, eat the food you want to eat. No, that's terrible advice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I was saying though was, do not contact demons. If there is a demon, just don't talk to it. Don't look at it. Don't try to be friends with it. Don't try to exorcise it out of anybody. He needs to call for some serious help, because what just happened there, he might have exorcised that demon incorrectly. It probably just got annoyed with him. He probably didn't actually exorcise it. And it probably was like, man, I'm gonna go mess with the old man downstairs. And it probably just was like, boom, blew up his heart. So don't do that. It's not very smart. Call a professional. Thank you. That was my TED Talk. Moving on to our next haunted happening. So this haunted happening is from James C. And James says, this was taken by my sister. Oh, he has photos here. So photos are going to pop up on the screen. We were on a night out at the Old City Jail in Charleston, South Carolina. This is where Ghost Adventures and Ghost Brothers went. And they talk about
the Ghost Brothers.
The Ghost Brothers. I love them.
I like the Ghost Brothers.
Anyway, they talk about the first female serial killer. Her name is Lavinia Fisher, and I think that her ghost is in the window of this picture. Zach Baggins, the chicken, says it is definitely haunted, and I'm hoping to return one day as a ghost hunter myself. I just felt drawn to the jail when I found out we were going to South Carolina, but Zach and his team investigated the jail. Okay, he said that again. All right. I live in South Carolina, and so Charleston is just a couple hours away from where I live. I went there on a night tour. My sister got the picture of the female killer, and then they talked about a man who was crazy. His name was Willie. Apparently, he killed his wife. This is another picture. I think this is Willie. The strange thing is that I took the picture on my phone, and then my phone, which had full battery, mysteriously shut itself off. I couldn't get it back on until I walked out of the jail. If you look closely, you can see an angry little man. I believe I caught Willie. I know a couple of angry little men. Anyway, everyone on the tour, including the tour guide, thought it was crazy. And there's no way anyone who was on the tour was standing at the window alone. I was touched, and my anxiety is sky high currently. I was pretty much ready to leave, but I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there from the get-go. My sister was also affected, but I believe the reason my phone shut off is because Willie doesn't like me. Yeah, check it out. It's haunted. Those are the photos. Hope you like them. They're pretty cool, actually. Dusty's going to be telling the story this time around, so Dusty, take it away.
All right. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about the Flying Dutchman tonight. Was it? Nothing? No?
Not yet.
No jokes? Okay.
They'll come, trust me.
I know.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah. So, the Flying Dutchman. And it was actually part of a fleet that was owned by the Dutch East India Trading Company. So, the ships that kind of traded in between the Netherlands and the East Indies. And they transported things like silks, spices, dyes, all those like luxurious items. Yeah. So in 1641, the captain of this specific ship, the Flying Dutchman, right? His name was Hendrik van der Decken.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, so after being in the East Indies, doing their little trading thing, they're on their way back to Amsterdam from the Far East, and they were rounding, South Africa's Cape of Good Hope, which is like jutting out, and it's like rocky and everything, and it's quite stormy over there. So while they were trying to make the trip around it, Van der Decken, right? Yeah, Van der Decken, he has this great idea. He's like, this would be a great place to create like a settlement for people to have like respite from the waters, the really terrible waters that happen around that area. So he wants to stop and make like a little settlement. However, a really big storm is brewing and coming in at the same time, and his crew is like begging him to turn around and to not go into this storm, but he rejects that idea, and
Poor choice.
Anyway, poor choice. Yeah. he orders the crew to press on. He orders them to continue through the storm and sail straight into it.
Why didn't they just be like, no, nobody wants to go. No, we're not doing it.
Well, they tried. So they actually mutinied. They mutinied. If you don't know what that is, it's basically when they turn against the captain and try to, mutiny, yeah. But anyway, basically, there's theories that some say he was drunk, some say that he was just mad. He's a crazy guy. But either way, he ordered them to press on. And, the winds were tearing at the sails. There's water now filling up in the hull, and it's a mess. This thing is going to, capsize.
That's why they told him no. They said no, but he didn't listen, so.
Yeah. So anyway, they mutinied, and Vanderdecken, and I'm just going to call him Hendrik.
Okay.
Hendrik, yeah. That was his first name, right? Hendrik kills the leader of the rebel group.
Oh.
So he kills the rebel leader, throws him over the ship, overboard, into the rocky waters, into the sea.
That escalated very quickly.
No, I feel like it was a nice, smooth escalation.
I disagree. It went from, okay, it's a storm, there's lots of water in the ship, to I brutally murdered a man and threw him overboard.
I disagree. I think it went from, let's stop here. Oh, there's a storm. Let's not sail through it. No, we're going to sail through it. No, we're going to kill you. Watch me kill you first.
Okay, all right. Fair.
I don't know.
I got you. All right, continue.
Okay, so yeah, and he killed the rebel leader, threw his body into the sea. And then this is a weird bit here. So there's some people that say that the vessel ended up speaking to him. Some people say an angel appeared, or some say that Satan appeared and spoke to him.
Those are not the same thing.
No, they're quite different. But something spoke to him. So asking him if he did not mean to go into the bay that night, but Hendrik basically replied, "May I be eternally damned if I do," claimed he would cross the Cape even if it took him until doomsday, which is like a famous line. Yeah, even I will cross this Cape even if it takes me until doomsday. So
okay,
you'll hear people say he's basically doomed to eternally sail until doomsday.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Didn't that happen in Pirates of the Caribbean? What's that guy called? Will Turner? He had to be on the Flying Dutchman, the ship, until doomsday. I'm pretty sure he only got the doomsday was not that long. It was every 20 years or something. I don't know.
It was every 10 years, but doomsday is isn't that the end of the world?
I guess. I don't know. I know nothing about doomsday. I gotta tell you. It's just similar.
But the Flying Dutchman does appear in a lot of pop culture, like Pirates of the Caribbean, with
SpongeBob.
Davy Jones and SpongeBob. Yeah, I was getting there, SpongeBob. There's a famous opera.
World Vegetarian Day.
What?
SpongeBob joke, you wouldn't get it.
No, what did you say? I didn't hear it.
World Vegetarian Day. It's where he I have to explain it. They're he's making a smoothie at the end, but SpongeBob and Patrick tried to get off the Flying Dutchman.
And he makes them fruit.
Yeah, and they're fruit. Yeah, and
I remember that.
Makes the smoothie. It's World Vegetarian Day. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, until doomsday does he sail, right? But anyway, the voice spoke again, and he's as a result of these actions, you are condemned to sail the oceans for eternity with a ghostly crew. You have dead people, right? And then something about Gal is his drink and his meat is hot iron, and Hendrik is amen to that. Just sails into the storm. This guy did not care. Some people say that he just lit up his pipe and was just smoking while the waters were crashing over the ship, and it's yeah.
He was smoking that ganja or opium. I don't know. They were both popular.
In 1640s?
Opium was very popular in the 1600s.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know.
Oh, you said that super confidently, like you knew.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Opium
continue.
was
He's smoking something. Probably crack.
probably tobacco. I mean,
Probably tobacco. So he smokes
Anyway.
pipe and he's just sailing into this horrific storm.
yeah,
And
they die. They all drown and die.
oh.
Goes under. What do you think happened? How else do you become a ghost?
Ooh,
ship?
hold on. This is kind of like a Faustian bargain.
Not in some of the versions, but kind of, I did think about that too, where the Satan came up, and I think it even said that Satan made a deal. Well, there was one version where like Satan tried to make a deal where he, what was it? Gave him one opportunity to like get out of it.
Sorry.
For what?
I yawned.
Did you? I didn't even see it.
Satan gave him the opportunity to get out of it, and then he didn't. He was just like, nah, it's all right. Well, I'll die. It's okay. That's what I intended.
Hold on. Satan gives him, like a get out. So apparently, this is kind of, in this version anyway, there's a couple of different like alterations, but in this version, this is kind of what you were talking about with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Apparently, he can redeem himself and his ship through like the love of a faithful woman.
Elizabeth Swan.
So every like 7 years, it was 10 years in Pirates of the Caribbean, but every 7 years he could like return to land to search for his salvation. Yeah, but in Pirates of the Caribbean, of course, it, didn't stop him from being doomed to sail. He just was allowed to return every couple years, every 10 years.
Yeah, and then they made a really bad movie after that one.
They made 2, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yep.
Some shit. All right.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, they died. They capsized off the coast of South Africa, and they all died. But that's how we get our ghost ship. So it's said to appear as a ghostly, glowing ship, stereotypical ghost ship, I guess. What?
What does he say? He's like, oh! Ah!
That's the second time you've made that joke.
I know, sorry.
You can't reuse jokes too
No,
far.
but that's like the whole scene when they're like on the ship. He's like, whatever. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway.
Thank you. All right.
So
I told you, I'm getting tired.
The ship apparently, it'll appear suddenly, disappear. People will claim to like see it off the coast or in a storm, or apparently, of course, the ship doomed to sail seas forever. Apparently, we'll try to make contact with other travelers, and just the seeing the Flying Dutchman is a sign of horrible misfortune. It's supposed to be like a harbinger of death and destruction. #Mothman. So it's like a sign of impending doom or something. I don't know. Some sailors claim that the Dutchman has led ships astray, causing them to crash on rocks or reefs, like hidden rocks and reefs. So they all die.
Again, they all die. It's like the third time you're like, they're dead.
Everybody's dead. They all died. But yeah, so you look off into the storm, the coast of the Cape of Good Hope or something. God, what was it? Where were they? You can see it's the captain and his skeleton crew. But then you'll like die. So there's actually supposedly sightings, which is super interesting. And the most prominent one is apparently Prince George.
Okay.
Wales, like Prince George of Wales.
Yeah.
The 5th, I think he was. But so it was like July. I
assume you meant like Prince George, like nowadays, like the son of Kate and William.
Like, he spotted the Flying Dutchman.
He's like, that's not a very credible source.
Well, anyways, July 11th, 1881, Prince George of Wales. They were sailing off the coast of Australia, I think it was. And it's like in his log records, 4 a.m. Apparently, the Flying Dutchman crossed our bows, a strange red light as of a phantom ship all aglow, in the midst of which light the masts, spars, and sails of a brig 200 yards distant stood out in strong relief as she came up on the port bow, where also the officer of the watch from the bridge clearly saw her, as did the quarter-deck midshipman, who was sent forward at once to the forecastle. But on arriving there was no vestige, nor any sign whatever of any material ship was to be seen either near or right away to the horizon, the night being clear and the sea calm. 13 persons altogether saw her. At 10:45 a.m., the ordinary seaman who had this morning reported the Flying Dutchman fell from the foretopmast, crossed trees, onto the topgallant forecastle, and was smashed to atoms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Prince George, he's really, that's detailed.
So the guy that was like all the way up fell and died.
Died, yeah. Well, I can imagine.
Prince George didn't die, but the other dude did.
No.
Yeah. Another one. Apparently, apparently, a British vessel came close to like colliding with the so-called ghost ship in like 1835 during a storm. Apparently, a vessel was approaching under full sail, but then just disappeared. It's just gone. And then there's 1939, when a group of people at a beach in Cape Town reported seeing the vessel sailing towards the shore, again under full sail, and then again disappearing. And then there was one reported during World War II. So apparently a German submarine boat under the command of a Nazi admiral, they saw the Flying Dutchman during their voyage through the east of Suez. Yep. However, yeah, that seems to be like the latest one, I guess, is World War II. But I mean, to think about that, it's still pretty recent, given the circumstances. So, Flying Dutchman is out there.
I think it's just like when you think about cases like the Bermuda Triangle, and then you think about all these people that have gone like missing at sea to like never be found. It makes you like wonder if there's something, what's it called, like a cryptid? Would that be an example of a cryptid?
What?
Cryptid?
You didn't?
Cryptid? The Flying Dutchman.
No, it's like an animal. It's like cryptozoology.
SpongeBob's a cryptid.
SpongeBob is a sea sponge.
Oh my god, I hate you. Anyway, so what I'm saying though is I think that it's funny when you have, I don't think actually that, let me rephrase that. I think that it is ironic.
Hilarious.
I think it is funny that people go missing at sea, but I think it is ironic that you have stories like this, and then you have real people that they go missing at sea, people that are like super experienced. Like what was that explorer? It was like the son of Hernando de Soto. He went missing. His father was Hernando de Soto. I mean, he was a famous explorer, and his son went missing at sea. Just they never found him ever again. He was like a high-standing officer in like the military or something like that. So of Spain. So just stuff like that is like mind-boggling to me. Same thing happened with. Never mind. I forgot. Anyway, Dusty, that is all the input I have. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
No. What were you saying about the Bermuda Triangle, though?
Oh. I don't remember. It's very early in the morning. The Bermuda
Triangle.
The Bermuda. That sounded like a motorcycle there. I did. Anyway, the Bermuda Triangle. People are gonna think we're drunk, not tired. The Bermuda Triangle is this area just off the coast of Florida. I don't think that's right. No, it's right. Yeah, it's
just like Miami to Puerto Rico to.
Yeah, and a lot of people, ships crash there, planes crash in that area. So there's this idea that there's some sort of like vortex that's being like pulled down in the water. I mean, people also jump immediately to aliens when they think of this, but there's an idea that there's some sort of like,
The Men
what
in
is that?
Black might show up at your
I
doorstep.
know, right? Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me, girl. It's too early in the morning. But there's this whole idea that perhaps there's some sort of vortex, like a aquatic vortex that's pulling ships down and like causing interferences with gravity, pretty much. And maybe it's interesting to think that the Flying Dutchman, if just a legend, maybe that's what was being written about by Prince of Wales, whatever, George of Wales. But although I don't know though, he does describe an actual ship.
Well, yeah,
Never
they
mind.
also weren't in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, I know. I just said all that for no reason. Okay, well, this has been real swell. I don't care. I don't know. We might. I just. We never said we had good episodes coming on Tuesdays and Fridays. We just said new. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can go like our Facebook and go visit our website. You can read our blog that we do weekly. I'm going to be writing my ghostly encounters, which is where I communicate with guests on my tour, ask them what their strangest or scariest paranormal experiences were, and I put it in a little blurb on our blog, and it's all good. So yeah, check all that out, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Yeah, check it out. It's haunted. Can you see me?
No.
Are you? I'm gonna literally fight somebody.